A very good morning to you. It's the 13th day of August 2025, a day that has behind it so far 114 presidential aspirants, all looking forward to becoming a president of Uganda, or the president of Uganda. Now, amongst those who picked up nomination forms yesterday was President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, as represented by Richard Tudong, the General Secretary of the NRM party, and also Honorable Mubarak Munyagwa, former MP of Kawempe South, picked up his nomination forms, aspiring to be the president of Uganda. Now, taking a look at sports, it's the Chan month, and yesterday Madagascar beat Central African Republic 2-0 at the Benjamin Mkapa National Stadium, and Mauritania beat Burkina Faso, Burkinabe 1-0 at still Benjamin Mkapa, and Burkinabe in fact ended that match with a red card. But also today, 5 p.m. will be the Chipolo Polo boys, that is Zambia, facing it off with Morocco at Nyayo Stadium, and at 8 p.m. will be Angola and DR Congo facing each other at Moi International Stadium. It's a good morning this Thursday. Welcome back from that throwback Thursday music to give you a bit of memories of what life was like. My name is Julie Nantaba Musisi, and I am with Robert Kirabo Nyonyitono. Good morning, Robert.
A lovely morning to you, Julie. How are you doing?
I am very well, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm very fine.
Great.
Of course, there will always be something somewhere in the news. Sometimes there's something very exciting.
Right.
Sometimes something very sad. But as we await for the talks, that is Donald Trump and the big man. Why am I calling him the big man? You know, Trump has met of late a number of presidents, all the likes of Putin. I don't expect what we saw when it comes to Ramaphosa, the Kenyan president, then the Ukrainian president, you know, yes, to talk about suits and all that. This one, he's meeting someone very unique. More experienced.
It's not a joking subject.
More experienced than Donald Trump in the first place.
That's true.
A person who has more military experience as well, leave alone leadership governing the country. A man feared globally. A superpower as well. Now, I'm just eager to see, even the result of the things that have changed in this visit. The man is going to be driven in his own convoy, not that of a visiting president. You know, he's traveling. So I'm very eager to follow what is going to transpire. How is Donald Trump? Is he going to be this usual Trump, the bully kind of? Is he going to be humbled by by Putin? Because if he's been speaking over phone and making phone calls here and there, you know, a man who had said he would end the war in 24 hours, you know, in this. So I'm waiting for these talks every time.
And that will be tomorrow. So clearly we cannot wait to see what transpires during the hours of tomorrow when those talks take place. You remind me of a meme. I don't know if it's an actual quote, but it's really, really making rounds on social media of Putin having said that God forgives terrorists, but it's Putin's job to send them to him.
Definitely. He's no joke. He's no joke. And I'm expecting to see a different Trump from the one we've always been seeing. That bully, you know, Trump, if you've followed and watched, he'll take you on from his body language to the verbal artillery. Yes. Now, is he going to unleash? Yeah, is he going to unleash this verbal artillery to Putin just sitting and facing him? Is he going to be humbled? You know, what will the body language? Even before the words, I'm excited to see the body language of Donald Trump facing Putin.
Oh yeah, little wonder his spokespeople at the White House.
Just look at how the North Korean president humbled him, if you remember, during his first term of office.
Yes.
Yeah, you would see a different Trump from the one we know now. What about Putin?
His team had to prepare us to tell us that this time around Trump's duty is to listen more. But indeed, we await what comes out of that summit, which will be tomorrow, I think, in Alaska. And our eyes are on the ground to see what happens. For every detail, from body language to speech to language to tone to every detail of what transpires, not just in the Oval Office, but even on the way to the Oval Office. So let's take a look at what is on the local scene.
We begin with President Museveni, who returned from a 3-day working visit to Egypt, where he had talks with President Abdel Fattah Sisi on the Nile, trade and regional stability. The leaders agreed on fair water sharing among Nile Basin countries, stronger trade ties, and reducing resilience on European markets. Museveni also invited Egyptian investors to explore opportunities in Uganda during the Egypt-Uganda Business Forum. The trip concluded with the signing of an agreement in trade, investment, agriculture, water management, and governance, alongside discussions on regional conflict in Libya, Sudan, and Palestine. At Entebbe International Airport, President Museveni was welcomed by the Minister for Presidency, Honorable Babiri Emile Babalanda, the Commander of the Air Force, Lieutenant General Charles Okidi, Deputy Inspector General of Police, James Ochaya, and Deputy Commissioner General of Prisons, Samuel Akena. Forum for Democratic Change steward and outgoing party Secretary General Nathan Nandala Mafabi was officially unveiled as the party's presidential flag bearer for the 2026 general elections. Mafabi's nomination was announced during the 19th FDC National Council meeting held at the party headquarters in Najjanankumbi. Forum for Democratic Change Secretary General Nandala Mafabi was unveiled, and he is going to be the party's flag bearer. This set the stage for a contest against NRM's preferred candidate Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, NUP's Robert Kyagulanyi, and other contenders in the race that will determine Uganda's next leader. In his maiden speech, Mafabi unveiled his 5-year manifesto, highlighting Uganda's choking debt burden, which he blamed on poor management of public resources. He pledged to create strategic investment aimed at boosting revenue collection, to service the debt and generate employment opportunities, targeting Uganda's 42.6 unemployed youth. Whether Mafabi will realize his vision to address what he called Uganda's barriers to economic growth and good governance will be decided by next year's vote in February. The president of the Common Man's Party, CMP, Haji Mubarak Munyagwa, has appealed to the public not to give his team a hard time while seeking endorsement signatures for his presidential bid. Munyagwa, who is vying for the presidency in 2026 general elections, stated that no one forced him into the race, but rather he chose to contest out of deep concern for the plight of the common man. He made the remarks during a press conference held at their office of Jacaranda Center in Lubaga. According to Munyagwa, the registration process is unnecessarily time-consuming, especially since CMP is already an existing party. He dismissed allegations that CMP is not registered, referring to its origin in the Uganda Economic Party, UEP. He emphasized that UEP was duly registered and confirmed to be number 9 on the Electoral Commission's register, refuting claims against the party's legitimacy. Munyagwa, formerly the Kawempe South Member of Parliament, officially picked nomination forms to run for presidency in the upcoming 2026 elections under CMP, with the party symbol being a Lusania local tray and its vision focused on a feel for the common man. Munyagwa urged Ugandans not to disregard his candidacy. He believes he is capable of addressing everyone's need if elected president, something he says has long been neglected. While coming to the end of our local stories this morning, the National Unity Platform, NUP, has petitioned the Constitutional Court challenging the recently passed Uganda People's Defence Forces Amendment Act 2025. to which they allege that it defies the Supreme Court decision and that Parliament failed to follow the parliamentary rules during its passing. They want court to nullify the petition. The petition filed in the Constitutional Court has been filed against the Attorney General of Uganda, Speaker of Parliament Anita Among, and Defense Minister Jacob Oboth. The petition was filed by the National Unity Platform through lawyers Nyanzi Kiboneka and Mbabazi advocates and Peace advocates and Narukola advocates. In the petition, they contend that Parliament, in passing the law reintroducing provisions the Supreme Court which were declared unconstitutional as per the Supreme Court decision in the Attorney General's versus Honorable Michael Kabarizuka case. The petition was supported by NUP Secretary General David Louis Rubongoya's affidavit, who alleges that the act was passed without involving the views from the relevant stakeholders. According to the petitioners, the act was designed to entrench political persecution and normalize the trial of civilians before the military court-martial, which is contrary to the Supreme Court decision. They also challenge the reenactment of Section 119 of the UPDF Act, now Section 117A, and giving the General Court-Martial unlimited jurisdiction to try offenses under any law was contrary to the Supreme Court ruling that banned the military court-martial from trying civilians. Well, that brings us to the end of our local stories this morning.
Well, thank you, Robert, for that local update. And I think one of the things that I've taken note of, and I still wonder why the choice of color, is the common man's party choices of color. It's easy to confuse them for NUP if you're not that critical.
Also, when you look at the PFF, though they put a white something, it has also something to do with FDC. But you see, at least for it, it came from FDC. So they never wanted to lose everything of FDC.
Interesting.
Now, the Common Man's Charter also is another interesting party, to be honest. One, the Electoral Commission confirmed it is not in existence.
Yes, that's true.
Among the registered political parties, much as he looks at the UEP, where there's a process if you want to change the party name. The Electoral Commission said they did not go through thorough to the latter. Therefore, him standing on a party ticket may be very hard at the end of the day. He's racing against time. If there's something else to rectify, he rather does that than thinking he'll make his way through. Yet the Electoral Commission is clear.
Right. And looks like at the end of the day, he will be on an independent ticket. Anyway, that's the road to 2026. Let's have a look at what we have on the foreign scene, and we're starting off with Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who has indicated that Gaza ceasefire efforts are now focused on a comprehensive deal to release all the remaining hostages at once. The plan previously being pushed was for an initial 60-day truce and partial release of living hostages. Hamas says a delegation of its leaders is in Cairo for preliminary talks with Egyptian officials. Reports say that the mediators see a window of opportunity in the coming weeks to try to push a deal through. After indirect talks between Israel and Hamas broke down last month, Israel announced a controversial plan to widen its military offensive and conquer all the Gaza Strip, including the areas where most of its 2 million Palestinian residents have sought refuge. However, Israeli media do not expect the new operation to begin until October, allowing time for military preparations, including a mass call-up of reservists. Meanwhile, intense Israeli strikes have continued in Gaza, and the Hamas-run health ministry said at least 123 Palestinians have been killed in the past day. Witnesses say that Israel has stepped up its attacks on Gaza City, in particular, with airstrikes destroying homes. Moving on, European leaders appeared cautiously optimistic after holding a virtual meeting with Donald Trump on Wednesday, 2 days before he meets his Russian counterpart, Vladimir Putin, in Alaska to discuss ending the war in Ukraine. Trump reportedly told the Europeans that his goal for the summit was to obtain a ceasefire between Moscow and Kiev. He also agreed that any territorial issues had to be decided with Volodymyr Zelensky's involvement and that security guarantees had to be part of the deal, according to France's Emmanuel Macron. Speaking to Trump had allowed him to clarify his intentions and gave the Europeans a chance to express expectations, Macron said. Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance spoke to the leaders of the UK, France, Germany, Italy, Finland and Poland, as well as EU Chief Ursula von der Leyen, as well as NATO Chief Mark Rutte. The Europeans have been sidelined from hastily organized summit in Alaska, and their phone call on Wednesday was at last-ditch attempt to keep Ukraine's interests and the continent's security at the forefront of Trump's mind. Now let's come to the motherland. Cape Verde has declared a state of emergency on the islands of São Vicente and That is Santo Antão, after deadly floods, which killed at least 9 people and forced 1,500 from their homes. The state of emergency activates crisis funds and urgent infrastructure repairs in the Atlantic Ocean islands off the west coast of Africa. Monday's flash floods were triggered by Tropical Storm Irene, leading to 193 millimeters of rain in just 5 hours, far above São Vicente's annual average. Deputy Prime Minister Olavo Correia told the BBC that floods were catastrophic. Rescue teams are desperately searching for missing people, while roads, homes and vehicles have been severely damaged. Commenting on the heavy rains, Esther Brito from the country's Meteorological Institute told Reuters news agency that the weather conditions were uncommon. Speaking to local media outlet Expresso das Ilhas, Ms. Brito added that the country did not have the radar equipment required to forecast the extent of the rains. Describing the moment the floods hit, Interior Minister Paulo Rocha said that the night was marked by panic and despair, Reuters reports state. Well, that brings us to the end of what we have on the foreign scene. Let's have a look at what we have in the dailies, Robert.
Well, in the dailies this morning, beginning with a new vision, NRM ready for contest as 120 pick nomination forms. Museveni goes for another lap. Remember, he want another rap. Now he goes for another lap.
Yes.
And
another lap giving us another rap.
I hope he sings again. Now we also have U.S. envoy to Somalia commends UPDF troops. And up there, 100 Ugandans recruited to fight in Russia intercepted. And ask URA Commissioner General, well, the New Vision has something there for you. Tribute pours to former ex-minister Karoro Krut. And Citizens Manifesto, Ugandans demand action for forest destruction. Now, police commissioner and 2 others charged. Well, let me bring the New Vision to the end and now quickly move into the Daily Monitor. What is there? The sale of government jobs in districts. Now, your friend the lizard comes in and says they will soon sell Uganda. And inside FDC party manifesto, what is in there? Here we look at, yes, I did it, says ex-officer who took free salary for 5 years.
Wow.
It's just reminded me of a time when one of my accounts, I found their money. A lot of money. I was like, how did this happen? Someone was saying, no, just pick the money, use. But sooner than later, of course, I did due diligence. And whoever had messed with my account had his issues sorted. I don't know how they did it. But now, how would you wake up on your account? You retired. Actually, you resigned properly, voluntarily. And for 5 good years, can't you ask yourself, But where is this mistake? Supposing he's told to pay, to refund the money, then sentenced as well. Well, very interesting Ugandans here. Now, raising cocoa prices. Can Uganda do more than just exporting raw beans? We hope they don't drop as the coffee did.
Yeah, true. You're
From
right.
18,000 now to about
5,000, yes, yes. So,
You know?
so bad.
So bad.
So bad. Anyways, let's get to Tanzania in the Citizen. And the headline there is how political parties will finance their campaigns. That is in the Citizen. We also have Denmark out to boost investment trade links with Tanzania. Also, boys now face higher risk of online abuse, new data shows. And right at the top, 4 pacts to earn Tanzania 720 billion for conservation. Now, let's have a look at what we have in the Daily Nation, and the headline there, that is in Kenya, U.S. damning report on Kenya's impunity. Harsh verdict set to escalate tensions between Nairobi and Washington. Also in the Daily Nation, Ruto steps up attack on bribe-taking lawmakers. Also in the Daily Nation, we do have a jackpot. How Clark bagged 424 million shillings cash prize. How Harambee Stars could qualify for knockouts today. That is for Kenya. And Pumwani to pay woman 7.5 million shillings for botched delivery, dead baby, and lost uterus. All of that in the Daily Nation. Grab yourself a copy of any of the dailies and get to enjoy all the stories in there that will catch your interest. For now, let's have a short break, but it's a throwback Thursday. Robert, I wonder, 2014, where were you? What was life like?
I was in Uganda to begin with, and enjoying. Not so much I can say 2014. I don't see any major thing I can talk about that I can point at and say maybe I was seriously into this that much, yes.
Right. Well, 2014 is also the year Davido released the song Aye that we are going to enjoy right now. But also, speaking of throwback, tomorrow, given that it's a Friday, and the Friday edition of Good Morning Uganda, we shall be hosting Moses Matovu to speak into celebrating
that legendary musician.
50 years of Afrigo
That
band.
is Afrigo? Yes.
We shall be having him tomorrow on Good Morning Uganda, the Friday edition. So you have learned early, told you earlier, better prepare for tomorrow. It's going to be a fun day. But for now, enjoy the throwback.
I hope it comes with his
sax.
Sax, yes, and does some music for us. I just love the Afrigo band. I must be honest.
Right.
In all bands in Uganda, I love Afrigo. Then there's another band, the current one. I think is it called Obuntu or Abantu, something like that.
Right.
Group. They also do some very good music for me.
Well, I hope when he comes, he gets to sing for me. Julie Yeyeka.
Yeah, he also has the
Afrigo band has that song.
Me and music.
Anyways, let's enjoy Aye by Davido. Good morning, Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala.
A very good morning to you. It's the 13th day of August 2025, a day that has behind it so far 114 presidential aspirants, all looking forward to becoming a president of Uganda, or the president of Uganda. Now, amongst those who picked up nomination forms yesterday was President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, as represented by Richard Tudong, the General Secretary of the NRM party, and also Honorable Mubarak Munyagwa, former MP of Kawempe South, picked up his nomination forms, aspiring to be the president of Uganda. Now, taking a look at sports, it's the Chan month, and yesterday Madagascar beat Central African Republic 2-0 at the Benjamin Mkapa National Stadium, and Mauritania beat Burkina Faso, Burkinabe 1-0 at still Benjamin Mkapa, and Burkinabe in fact ended that match with a red card. But also today, 5 p.m. will be the Chipolo Polo boys, that is Zambia, facing it off with Morocco at Nyayo Stadium. And at 8 p.m. will be Angola and DR Congo facing each other at Moi International Stadium. It's a good morning this Thursday. Welcome back from that Throwback Thursday music to give you a bit of memories of what life was like. My name is Julie Nantaba Musisi, and I am with Robert Kirabo Nyonyitana. Good morning, Robert.
A lovely morning to you, Julie. How are you doing?
I am very well, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm very fine.
Great.
Of course, there will always be something somewhere in the news. Sometimes there's something very exciting.
Right.
Sometimes something very sad. But as we await for that talks, that is Donald Trump and the big man. Why am I calling him the big man? You know, Trump has met of late a number of presidents, all the likes of Putin. I don't expect what we saw when it comes to Ramaphosa, the Kenyan president, then the Ukrainian president, you know,
yes,
to come to talk about suits and all that. This one, he's meeting someone very unique. More experienced.
It's not a joking subject.
More experienced than Donald Trump in the first place.
That's true.
A person who has more military experience as well, leave alone leadership governing the country. A man feared globally. A superpower as well. Now, I'm just eager to see, even the result of the things that have changed in this visit. The man is going to be driven in his own convoy, not that of a visiting president. You know, he's traveling. So I'm very eager to follow what is going to transpire. How is Donald Trump? Is he going to be this usual Trump, the bully kind of? Is he going to be humbled by by Putin? Because if he's been speaking over phone and making phone calls here and there, you know, a man who had said he would end the war in 24 hours, you know, in this. So I'm waiting for these talks every time.
And that will be tomorrow. So clearly we cannot wait to see what transpires during the hours of tomorrow when those talks take place. You remind me of a meme. I don't know if it's an actual quote, but it's really, really making rounds on social media of Putin having said that God forgives terrorists, but it's Putin's job to send them to him.
Definitely. He's no joke. He's no joke. And I'm expecting to see a different Trump from the one we've always been seeing. That bully, that was, you know, Trump, if you've followed and watched, he'll take you on from his body language to the verbal artillery.
Yes.
Now, is he going to unleash? Yeah, is he going to unleash this verbal artillery to Putin just sitting and facing him? Is he going to be humbled? You know, what will the body language? Even before the words, I'm excited to the body language of Donald Trump facing Putin.
Oh yeah, little wonder his spokespeople at the White House.
Just look at how that.
Call toll free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
My friend Baka was found to be positive for Mpox at his old age. He needs our prayers. By the way, Timo, did you know that Mpox-related deaths occur among people with underlying conditions like HIV/AIDS, diabetes, malnutrition, and other old age-related illnesses?
Of late, I've not been following Mpox issues. I thought it wasn't that serious. So, are you saying that as long as one has any underlying condition and feels unwell, just run to the hospital?
Yes! You do not have to wait. If you have any of the signs and symptoms like a body rash, a fever, headache, and body weakness, visit your nearest health facility immediately. We do not have to take any chances, my brother.
We need to immediately inform our peers in the club to be careful.
You see, with Mpox, the magic is in getting treatment early. Those who have suffered severe disease, they wasted a lot of time either treating themselves or ignoring the disease.
Save your life. Seek treatment early. Only from professional health workers whenever you feel unwell. For more information about Mpox, call the Ministry of Health toll-free line on 0800 1066 or send a free SMS to your report on 8500. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health Uganda with support from UNICEF, WHO, and its partners.
Taxation is a bit complicated, and the only way to demystify it and make it as easy to understand and to comply with is through engagement. Is there a limit to the number of cars a returning citizen is bringing into Uganda? Who has paid the excise duty on this water is not the supermarket which has sold you this bottle at 1,000. It's not the business. It is the man who is going to drink this water. We strongly believe that it will only be through such constructive engagement that we'll be able to broaden our tax base and build our country together.
Buza Commissioner. Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
A very good morning to you. Thank you so much for watching UBC TV, and this is Good Morning Uganda. My name is Julie Nantaba Mosisi. I am with Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono, and together with you, alongside you, we are going to chew on this matter that is really trending like an inferno, not just on social media, but also through every news platform, and that is the fact that, well, 53 billion shillings was allegedly mismanaged and paid to ghost beneficiaries, and that is from the Uganda Police, Civil Aviation Authority, Entebbe Referral Hospital, as well as Makerere University Business School. 0709-602-592. This is a matter that the Directorate of Criminal Investigations Department is looking into through, and really, yeah, you shake your head. But let me just start with Robert. As you also engage, 0709-602-592. It's a WhatsApp number where you can share your opinions as well as we are sharing ours. Please note, we are not experts to speak into this matter. We are just sharing our 2 cents, just as you would share your 2 cents as citizens of Uganda who are looking into this matter and wondering what is happening, and just generally looking at the fight against corruption in Uganda. Keep in mind that the corruption index, perception index, recently ranked Uganda 26 out of 100. Robert.
Yes, Julie.
First off, let's start with what this 53 billion Uganda shillings was meant for.
Now, first and foremost, this money we can't say was meant for this. Because when we look at payrolls, if someone is wrongly, fraudulently on a payroll and gets that money, for example, let's take one of the persons in court today, is a police officer who resigned from the force and has been getting salary 5 years down the road. Now, that means that person was not supposed to be on the payroll. He was taking government money. Maybe if they hadn't paid it to that person, it would be in the consolidated fund. The salary bill of that particular entity would be less for some time. But most of the times when we talk about corruption, let's define it to our viewer, because it has become a word that we usually talk everywhere. His Excellency, I don't know how many times he talks about it whenever he's making a speech. You know, for the last, I think, 3 decades, from Chisanja Hakuna Mchezo, zero tolerance to corruption. There's so much we've said about corruption. So what is corruption itself? Now, corruption is simply dishonest or fraudulent behavior by those in power, typically involving bribery or misuse of public funds for personal gain. It is essentially the abuse of entrusted power to private benefit. And in a layman's language, I would call it corruption, or to easily put it, is theft and thuggery. Now, you just mentioned how we were ranked. Someone may think we are doing very well. When you look at the corruption index, when you're rated out of 100 countries, and you're 23?
26.
Sorry, 26.
Your position is 26% out of 100.
Out of 100 countries where the sample was taken, or the study was taken, or the research. We don't count from 1 that your efforts among 100 countries, you're doing well because you're in the 26th position in fighting corruption. No, out of the 100 countries, you're in the 26th position of not fighting corruption. Now, it is very unfortunate that despite Uganda having all it takes to fight corruption, we have still failed to fight corruption meaningfully. Where have I said Uganda having all it takes to fight corruption? Now, in the fight against corruption, there are 2 major things that you need. One, the law. Now, our laws, when it comes to fighting corruption, are strong enough. Many may say that, Robert, we need to amend here, we need to amend here. I want to ask you a question. Those that have been arrested in the law, do you want to tell me the law wasn't biting? From a principal accountant in the office of the Prime Minister, I think is Geoffrey Kazinda. For how long has he been there? The likes of Jimmy Ramafa, who were pardoned. The likes of Chandi Jamwa, who were pardoned. The likes of Bob Misango, I think that one died in cells or something. We can mention those that have been arrested, and they have danced to the tune. So I don't want to look at our laws in this country and say we lack laws. No, we do not lack laws. That is one thing I can tell you. Our law is sufficient enough if followed. These people who have been arrested. 2 are institutions that fight corruption.
Right.
I want to tell you, Uganda will have both the law and the institutions. We have the Inspectorate of Government. We do have Police Anti-Corruption Department. We do have State House Anti-Corruption Unit. We do have, there's now this one that works on investors, the Investors Protection Unit. We do have, when it comes to medicine, we have the State House Health Monitoring Unit. We do have, the list is endless. And sometimes you may think there's even duplication of roles or work. But when we hosted the Deputy IGG, she said, Dr. Patricia Chan, she said, no, there is a way we work in tandem and ensure I bring justice. So we don't lack institutions, neither do we lack the law in our country. The question is going to be, Robert, what do we lack?
Looking into this particular saga going on. Actually, yesterday, I think even the HR of the Civil Aviation Authority was, taken in.
No, this 53 billion we are talking about were police,
It's police, Civil Aviation
Authority, Entebbe Referral Hospital. We have a Makere Business School, that is MOOBS. Now, this we see, when a report came out, President Museveni directed, that is I think in February, he directed to carry out a forensic audit and see how could we lose 53 billion. Remember when they went through all payrolls and government conducted, people had to give in, what do you do in this organization, all that. So that is when they discovered this mess. That today they are rounding up these people and parading them before court. Where someone knew, either people are incompetent, either people have retired and left the offices, but they are still earning money. People are not fit for jobs and all this. And now government said, no, let's carry out a forensic audit. Let's get the facts. Let's see how these monies are being stolen in this way.
Yeah, the working within government spaces is sometimes tricky, and this is why I say it. I say it as a procurement and logistics student with what I studied at university. Many things, especially with the procurement law, many times our lecturers would tell us that doing public procurement and private procurement, public procurement is one where if you miss a step, for as long as you are in that office, as long as you are in that seat, you might not have committed the crime, but perhaps you did not read a document and you just signed. Perhaps you just missed something by just a blink of an eye, not that you committed the actual crime, and you're the victim of circumstance, and this cannot be explained, right? It takes really, really, really a lot of faith and whatever digging into the law to prove your innocence at that. And I remember as I did my internship, I remember one of my leaders, those were my supervisors, telling me that I think you'd rather do private because public procurement is a death sentence.
Well,
that's what he told me.
I don't want to believe that. I'm not a student of procurement for journalism and mass communication, but one thing I want to say is what is happening in Uganda, in any crime.
Right.
I covered court for some time. But there's one thing I noticed in law, that they'll always look for your intention. That is why, Julie, a husband and wife may be fighting, and maybe we're in the kitchen, and if we were a couple, but a disclaimer, we are not in any way. And maybe we're in the kitchen and you picked a knife, maybe I pounced on you in self-defense, you stabbed me in the neck and I die.
Right.
Now, people will say she murdered the husband. Now, when we go to court, they will confirm and say, well, this woman was in self-defense.
Right.
Now, the intention was not to murder, and you may not got you won't get a murder sentence, but manslaughter slightly lighter. That's for the US first degree, second degree murder. Now, what is happening in Uganda is intentional.
So actually,
people plan to defraud, to steal. How can you be a human resource manager? Well, people are innocent until proved guilty by a competent court. But you can't tell me for 5 years on your payroll that you cross-check as a human resource manager, you have someone who sent in a resignation letter.
Right.
That means it came to you, and they're still getting salary. How do you tell me, you who goes to the bank every end of month for 5 years, and you pick this money?
Right. Now, I think what I wanted to put across for us to sort of dig into is with all those that are in the limelight right now, they are in the face of the platform that they're the ones we are pointing fingers at. What do you think we should look at that is not being said behind the scenes? Because one thing for sure is that story is also there. There's a flip side to our coin. So do you have an idea of questions that we should ask that are not being talked about?
Well, I may not zero down to this particular case. I want to look at the broader picture of fighting corruption in Uganda. Because one, this is a case where the court process is just starting. The hearing is not yet, so we may not have so much of it. And also at a certain time, professional, I don't want to, of course, go into something that is in court that much. So I want to look at the general picture.
Right.
And this is what I want to tell you. Where you have institutions that fight corruption, where you have the law that fights corruption, there's one thing we lack. The will to fight corruption. Let me tell you, I don't want and I can't be convinced that the few people in Luzira on corruption, they were not smart as their colleagues. They did this in a hurried manner. They didn't know how to destroy evidence. No. But there was a will to bring them to book.
Right.
And hold them. There's a famous case. Sometimes I shrink while speaking about it, but the Mabati saga. It hit like a storm in this country. It burst, you know. But silently it is there.
With many unanswered questions.
They'll tell you today it was, I was discussing with the deputy IGG. And I was telling her about what happened about this. Then she would tell you, no, it was now transferred to this, this is handling that, you know. So the will to fight corruption is what we are lacking in this country. We are doing so much of lip service.
Is the will with us who are not in office or with those who are in office? Where is the will, to whom is the will belonging to that you are
For all have sinned and fallen short of God's glory.
Right.
Those in power are lacking the will to fight corruption. Those in offices are lacking the will to fight corruption. The citizens themselves, us, me, you watching, we are lacking the will to fight corruption. Let me tell you, you have the Whistleblowers Act. How many people are whistleblowing? When you look at the 53 billion you're talking about today, you see the hand of the president. Say, I smell a rat. Forensic, or it should be taken. Actually, a number of these cases, it is His Excellency that has gotten to know and pushed here and there to have individuals prosecuted or action taken.
And I think this particular one was escalated because he mentioned of how people are paying, is it 3 million,
now,
to go see him.
Recently,
when he expressed it, it's when...
No, this particular one followed some reports that the president picked up. But recently we saw him talk about even corruption in State House. But what we are saying, you see, when we have the will as Ugandans, we shall be able to set precedent.
Right.
But if you've not set precedent, and there is no will, you watching us, me speaking here, that's why I use the word for all have sinned and fallen short of God's glory. Where we see corruption, we call these people smart. You know? I'll give you a very simple example. Someone is over speeding, but tells you, when a police officer stops me, even before the police officer says a word, someone has already said, good morning, Afande. Thank you for the work, we really appreciate. Gives the police officer money. The man has not asked for any bribe. I've seen this in taxis.
Right.
I'm in cattle trade. I've seen people transporting when someone, and you tell this person, but this car doesn't, this truck does, says, no, and one time I sat with this person, I said, no, let me first see. He's even taking before you've completed the paperwork. Every checkpoint we reached, he would simply say, so pay him run out, or some even do it direct. So that's why I said, as Ugandans, look at candidates when exams are out. How parents will call each other. Do you know someone here?
So in other words, we've normalized...
Apparent bribes. They tell you this one, their cutoff point is 4 and 6. 4 for the boys, girls 6. Then someone says, Chirabo, one time I saw you hosting the headmaster of this school, and I believe he's your friend. Can't you do... No, Ninawa can't. You get it. A parent wants the child to be in that school, and they are bribing. Now, some of the Ugandans are very corrupt. but they have not gotten an opportunity. They have not gotten an opportunity. Muli babbi, muli bali banguzi. The only thing is you've just not gotten an opportunity to be in these offices to steal this money. We have the laws in place, we have the institutions. But you see, when you do not have the will as a nation, Ugandans today, love for a country has ceased. Everyone is on their own duty. If I can steal this money, I prepare for my children. I buy arcades, I build hostels, you get it.
Right. I
give them better education. I'm not concerned if people are dying in hospitals. And my family will praise me. The boy has just worked for 10 years. Look at what he has. He has a farm, he has a house, he's building schools, that child is very brilliant. Gone are the days when your father would tell you, my son, you've just worked for 3 months. Where have you gotten money to buy a car that you've come driving? You see? He'll just tell you, my son, you've even bought a car, just 3 months. Bring and lay hands on that car and prove so that you don't get accidents while driving the car. So you lack the moral authority. Most Ugandans, most of us lack the moral authority to speak about corruption and condemn corruption.
Right, now let's engage into your comments as we begin to close this conversation. Hello UBC, this is Emmanuel Muhozi. I think corruption is not to fight against until there is a strict law against government officials. See what is happening in the parliament. The other comment that we have coming through is from Dr. Liada Emmanuel. You say nice program, and you've sent in a PDF document saying that I think I have a solution to some of the problems in this country. I'm tuned in live and I'm requesting for an ear to listen to what I have to say. All right, something to consider. Now, good morning, Uganda. I'm Odaro Vincent from Morukatipe, Tororo. Fighting corruption should start with an individual by refusing to give or take a bribe and to expose the corrupt. Let's join the fight. Omugaga Saurembo says lwaki buli akwatibwa nga alyenguzi tebawamba bintu bye. Yeah, in other words, confiscate.
See, Omugaga Saurembo must know one thing. That what we have today is what we call syndicate corruption in government offices. So, syndicate corruption makes it very hard for you to have evidence. And remember, our laws allow bail, allow bond. Now, most of the times, if you remember, the president had proposed that for such offenses, let's not give these people bond or bail because they still have the money with them.
Right.
So it's that very money they use to sell through the processes that would hold them accountable. So you cannot confiscate or sell property of a person if they have not been convicted or pleaded guilty themselves, so that you look for that alternative.
Right, and pardon me, I'd read that. And Sebunya Joviani in Nkozi, good morning, UBC. Corruption today won't end until when we have started killing every government official. Joviani, killing is not something that you have in your own hands to do. But anyway, thank you so much.
There are countries where they kill. If you're convicted of corruption.
Yeah, I mean.
And you see, they have set a precedent.
Right.
That now people fear. Here we may not kill. Though at a certain extent, I would say, we may not kill here. But if you swindle money meant to treat people very ill and they're dying because of you, and you're swindling this money, why not dance to the same tune? I think we can have meaningful arrests that deter. We can confiscate property. So it's all about how tough, and we make it very risky for someone to be corrupt. But where someone steals money, steals whatever, and they move around, that precedent is just fertile for more to steal.
All right. As Ugandans, let's fight corruption together and intentionally. It begins by an individual effort, not the government, but you as an individual. Refuse that bribe, refuse anything that doesn't align with the right procedures. And a major shout out to Omugaga Saurembo, who always watches us every single morning. Omugaga Saurembo Nabweru, MP Adako Enasana Municipality. Thank you so much for always watching. Up next is GMU Tourism Express. Zakia Lucky, very clad in a traditional attire, one that you have to look forward to, but it has backcloth to it. I won't tell the rest of the detail. You have to watch it yourself. And she'll be having a conversation with Najib Msubuga, who is the Chief Executive Officer, Buganda Heritage and Tourism Board. And this is looking at heritage and sports, Buganda's poised role in today's tourism landscape. So stick around. Good morning, Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Taxation is a bit complicated, and the only way to demystify it and make it as easy to understand and to comply with is through engagement. Is there a limit to the number of cars a returning citizen is bringing into Uganda? Who has paid the excise duty on this water is not the supermarket which has sold you this bottle at 1,000. It's not the business. It is the man who is going to drink this water. We strongly believe that it will only be through such constructive engagement that we'll be able to broaden our tax base and build our country together.
Buza Commissioner. Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the Rider Selection Campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends to form a team of 4, and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety, and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll-free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala, 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
My friend Baka was found to be positive for Mpox at his old age. He needs our prayers. By the way, Timo, did you know that Mpox-related deaths occur among people with underlying conditions like HIV/AIDS, diabetes, malnutrition, and other old age-related illnesses?
Of late, I've not been following Mpox issues. I thought it wasn't that serious. So, are you saying that as long as one has any underlying condition and feels unwell, just run to the hospital?
Yes, you do not have to wait. If you have any of the signs and symptoms like a body rash, a fever, headache, and body weakness, visit your nearest health facility immediately. We do not have to take any chances, my brother.
We need to immediately inform our peers in the club to be careful.
You see, with Mpox, the magic is in getting treatment early. Those who have suffered severe disease, they wasted a lot of time either treating themselves or ignoring the disease.
Save your life. Seek treatment early. Only from professional health workers whenever you feel unwell. For more information about Mpox, call a Ministry of Health toll-free line on 0800 1066 or send a free SMS to your report on 8500. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health Uganda with support from UNICEF, WHO, and its partners.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Well, that was it from the newsreel. Mwasuze mutya basebo ne banyabo. Welcome and thank you for joining us on Good Morning Uganda Tourism Express. By the look of my outfit, you very well know what we have with us in studio. This morning we'll be talking about heritage and sports coming all the way from Buganda Kingdom. Join me in as we welcome Mr. Nsubuga Najib, who is the CEO, Buganda Heritage and Tourism Board. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Zakia. Thank you so much
You're welcome.
for hosting us, and I commend your attire. It's really perfect for the topic. Good morning, Uganda. It's a pleasure being here on UBC TV, discussing matters of heritage and sports in regards to tourism in Uganda. My name is Najib Nsubuga. I'm the Chief Executive Officer for the Uganda Heritage and Tourism Board.
We are happy to have you.
Thank you so much, Zakia.
Yes, talking about BHTB, give us a brief background about the Buganda Heritage and Tourism Board and its core mandate.
Thank you. The Buganda Heritage and Tourism Board is the principal entity for the Kingdom of Buganda that is mandated to protect and preserve the heritage of the kingdom, as well as promote it into amazing tourism experiences for both the people of Buganda and Uganda and the international community. So we are supposed to ensure that our traditions and customs are preserved, and as well as making them as interesting as possible for people to come and enjoy them. So that's basically what we do, and that's why you have heritage and tourism at the same time. When you preserve, you promote, to invite people to come and experience these amazing cultures of ours.
Yeah. And I'm wondering what distinguishes the culture of Buganda as a compelling travel destination?
Yeah, I think this is not to brag, but we all know that the Kingdom of Buganda is perhaps the biggest kingdom in the East and Central Africa, and with a rich history of over 800 years. And considering the fact that the kingdom has been here for all those years, there is quite a lot of amazing cultural experiences that the people can come and experience and view and also find out. So that's what makes it different. It's huge and rich history, and the rich traditions and customs that date back over 800 years with clearly outlined lines of succession of monarchs. We are currently having the 36th monarch, Kabaka Red Mwenda Mutebi II. So that alone talks about how big it is, and then also the fact that Buganda is in the center of Uganda. It's also an amazing thing, because before moving out to the rest of Uganda, your first destination is here. So being the first destination makes it, a go-to for everyone that is coming to Uganda. And for everyone that is in Uganda, would love to come to Kampala, and when you come to Kampala, automatically you're visiting Buganda and you come to experience this rich cultural heritage of the kingdom. Yeah.
Having mentioned that, by the look of the pictures on the screen, it looks like really an exciting experience. So what could be the sites or experiences that I must visit for domestic and international tourists?
Yeah, it's quite a couple of sites and a couple of experiences that people can have when they come to Buganda. But I think starting with sites, Buganda is blessed to have one of the 3 UNESCO World Heritage Sites in the country, and the only cultural heritage site in the country, that is the Kasubi Royal Tombs, that was designated by UNESCO in 2001 as a center of spirituality and culture that does not only concern the Waganda and Uganda, but also the international community. So that is the key heritage site that everyone visiting Uganda and Buganda would by all means automatically wish to come and experience the amazing cultures and traditions, and how Buganda has been able and Uganda has been able to preserve this heritage from 1882 up to now, that even when we were faced with the challenge of fire in 2010, the country and the kingdom have been able to do all it takes to restore that amazing heritage. So that could be, you know, when you come to Uganda and Buganda, basically, that should be your first stop before you move on to any other thing. And then we have the palace for the king, established in the 1800s also, the Kabaka's Palace, and recently we were ranked, the palace was ranked as one of the top 10 must-go-to destination in the world by TripAdvisor, wow, which is a tour and travel agency that rates experiences that tourists get when they visit these amazing sites. So making it one of the top 10 in the world that, you know, of course talks to how amazing and the experiences that the people get when they come here. And then we have the coronation site at Nagala Bibudo. We have other tombs and Bulange. And then we have the first ever established tourism road in the country, and that is the Kabaka and Jagala Road, the road that stretches from the Kabaka's Palace to Bulange, is the first ever designated tourism road in the country by KCC and the Ministry of Tourism. So that is the Kabaka and Jagala Road with sculptures of our totems and very other amazing experiences. And then outside Kampala, we could, that's the parliament, the parliament, the Luchiko. The oldest parliament in the country is at Bulange. So when you come to visit the Parliament of Uganda, one of the biggest monuments we have in the country, you would also come and trace the history of parliaments in the country, and that's the Buganda Luchiko, where the parliament started before moving to the central government. So we have other amazing things in the country that doesn't even touch about Buganda only, but also Uganda in general. When you come to the city, we have a lot of monuments in the city. The Independence Monument, you can find the Liberation Monument, the Parliament of Uganda, and those other key monuments that we have, the galleries like the normal galleries, all those speak to us. The National Theatre here, they're all in Buganda. And then in terms of natural heritage, Buganda is, you know, has the biggest part of Lake Victoria. The biggest part of the shores of Lake Victoria are in Buganda. And that's why most of the beaches where young people go to enjoy life are also here in Buganda. And the islands, the Sese Islands, with a very amazing history and all that, are also part of the kingdom. We have the Seziwa Falls. I don't know if you have visited the Seziwa Falls, but Seziwa is a unique fall because the nature of the color of the waters at Seziwa is not anywhere else. The water is brownish. It's like brown. You will not find it anywhere else apart from Buganda and Uganda here. So that is something amazing, would say. And then we also have another powerful, you know, fall at Kalagala, the Kalagala Falls in Kayunga. They are also amazing falls that people would come and see. And then of recent, we've had an introduction of new experiences through the private sector that are trying as much as possible to ensure that people get the best experiences that they could have. If you go to Kayunga still, you'll find the Kainera farms. They are trying as much as possible to promote and preserve our heritage through giving people experiences that we, you know, make them understand and appreciate our cultures. You'll find Ewafe, Kalicho village. You'll find in Singo, in Mitiana here, there is you know, another site where people go and enjoy life. So there are quite a lot of places that tourists can visit in Buganda and enjoy life.
Buganda itself alone sounds like a full package.
It's a full package. Alone, it's a full package. And then from just the seeing, but the country also provides, you know, amazing experiences like the culinary experiences where people come and enjoy the local cuisine, the Ugandan cuisine, the Luwombo. We take them through the process of preparing the food from the garden. They pick the banana from the garden and they see how we do it. Recently, I saw a clip of a young girl, you know, extracting banana, and I felt so bad. It speaks to how we have not put so much effort on, you know, telling the young people how things should be done. So we take them through the entire process. We call that it's a package that we call the Buganda Historical and Cultural Experiential Tour, where when the tourists come, they are able to learn about our culinary experiences, how we extract food, and how we prepare the food, the peeling, the wrapping, and then the food goes to the fire, and then, you know, to the dining table, the local dining table.
That's an amazing experience. I would like to be a part of.
So you take the tourists or those that visit. Some don't come as tourists. For them, they come to learn how these things are done. But for us, we regard that as tourism. So when they come, they are able to go through all this process, and then the local dances, the music, the local instruments, the drumming, and all that, and then local games. Like, so I think based on your utter, you must have done the dances. Baka Simba and Muogola, you must be perfect in all those. And then we do the local games, traditional board games like the Mweso. When you go to the palace, you'll find a big traditional board game where people come and experience. And then also we take them through the amazing backcloth making process. Many young people don't know where the backcloth comes from, and when they come to realize that the backcloth comes from a tree, they are surprised that backcloth comes from the back of a tree. So we take them through the process. We extract, you know, the material from the tree, and then we pound it using the millets, and eventually they see that from the tree we can have a cloth that people put on. So we take them through all that, and eventually people, you know, end up learning about this amazing culture.
You're doing a lot of good job with preserving culture, indeed.
Yeah.
You did talk about the sports activities, which brings me to my next question.
Yeah.
Shan 2024 is happening. How is this able to help in the promoting of the heritage in Buganda, for example? Being the center, like you did say, and Shan is happening in here, exactly in Buganda.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think Uganda is blessed to have the tournament here. And I commend the Ugandans for the amazing support that they are showing to the teams, not only to the national team, but to the rest of the teams that are playing in Group C. Because I think it was a very, very, very amazing idea for CAF to think that these games should play at the same time, and the people should have a single ticket that allows them to have access to both games. So we are blessed that we have Chan in Uganda, and more so here in Buganda, like we said, that the tournament is happening in the central region, and a lot is happening. We have seen fans, I think, for all the games that we've had, despite the start that wasn't good, the fans have continuously come to support the national team. And when people come out, even before we look out for the outside community to come and see what we are doing, we mainly want to concentrate on the domestic market. Domestic tourism is one of the major things that the country is putting emphasis on, because we believe that before people coming from other countries, there is a lot that we can exploit from the community here. And the biggest population that is coming out for these games are the Ugandans. So we are using the tournament to market Uganda as a sports, destination for people out there to see, when these games are being played on TV, and the people in Niger, Guinea, and Algeria, South Africa, are seeing how Ugandan fans are, come out in big numbers to support. It creates a lot of publicity for the country, and it helps us to move further into our tourism initiatives. And I commend the government of Uganda. The government of Uganda did quite a lot in terms of interesting the people. There's a lot of content that was produced in partnership with the respective tourism agencies to ensure that we showcase the amazing things that people can see. I think you've seen these videos moving around the internet and doing all rounds to show the world out there and those who have come in the country that if you come to watch the match, don't just start in Nambole after the match. You have some time between Tuesday and Friday. Please move around the country to see what is happening in the country. And we are rooting from all this we are rooting from all this, and we are getting people to our sites simply because of the efforts that the government and the agencies put in place, UTB, to ensure that those that come know that beyond the games that we are having, there is quite a lot that we can see in the country. And this is a very big opportunity for Uganda. I think this is our entry into the growing sports tourism industry. That, you know, when you have a tournament and people do not show up to watch, it means they're not interested. And that could be so hard for other tournaments to come in the country. But our maiden tournament has given us a very good start because we have shown that we are interested. People come from as far as Kapchora to come and see the boys playing in the tournament.
There's no better way to indeed show how hospitable Ugandans can be. And maybe to come back home, we've had the Kabaka's run. We have the Rwenzori Marathon as well. But coming back to the Kabaka's run, which has significantly stood out as a cultural, you know, big sport event. How is it also promoting tourism?
And I think before we talk about the Kabaka's run, I think back to Chan, we are proud that the national team has players that have been part of the Kingdom sporting events, like the Masaza Cup and the Bika Cup. The boys playing in there, we come to support them because we groomed them as the Kingdom through all these tournaments. So we are proud that what we are doing is adding to the country. So that is so good. And then coming to the Kabaka's birthday run, the Kabaka's birthday run has been growing, and I think we all realize that we have reached a level of saying that it is the biggest in the region. We do not have any other biggest run to that cause. A run, not a marathon, but a run that highlights a cause, where people come to show cause and then be part of their heritage. So we think that the run initially that started as a cause to support people that have a number of illnesses. The Kabaka started with fistula, they went to sickle cells, and currently the Kabaka is doing HIV/AIDS as a UNAIDS Goodwill Ambassador for HIV/AIDS to create publicity about HIV/AIDS and how we should all fight to end the disease by 2030. But from the masses that we see that come for the run, both local and international, is amazing, because these people do not just come to run, but they come to experience. If you have seen them, you will understand that there is quite a lot that comes into this tournament. So into this run, the people that come, I've seen, if you have, we didn't get pictures of how people, enjoy. The last run was, it rained a lot, it rained heavy in the last run. And people were enjoying the rains more than they could even enjoy the run. So we think that even the route only, if you look at the route where the run moves, it's a tourism route, because the run starts in the palace, which is a tourism site, and it moves along the Royal Mile, the Kabaka and Jagala Road. It touches key monuments in the city. Even the route itself is a tourism route, and we are recently working on a bigger, marketing campaign that would see more foreigners coming into the country to attend the run, because we've had attendance of international people, but not to a higher level. But we need to call in more, international people to come and attend the run, because the cause that the Kabaka is on is an international cause. It's not just a Ugandan cause, but an international cause. And when we have people coming in for the run, it's not the kingdom only that benefits, but there's quite a chain of businesses that benefits. Our mothers selling food around the city, those that sell beverages, and those that sell souvenirs. It's quite a big opportunity, economic opportunity, not only for the kingdom and the government, but also for the local communities, that the people that have merchandise along the route are able to attract huge number of customers that come to support their businesses. So we weren't just delivering at first, but the route only that the run uses is a tourism circuit. That the run itself is a tourism circuit, because if it starts from the palace along the mile, it moves along the Kabaka's Lake, it goes to the cathedral at Namirembe, the cathedral at Rubaga, it passes via KCCA here, you know, the Independence Monument, the Parliament of Uganda. All these, the clock tower, all those are tourism attraction that people would wish to come and see. So we are coming back bigger and better and deliberate in terms of making the run not just a cause, but an experience that people should have.
Truly looking forward for that. Yes, as we get to the climax, maybe give us your parting shots.
Thank you so much. I think the Ugandans need to come out to understand that tourism, when we talk about tourism, we are not talking about only those that are doing tourism business. But when a tourist comes to Uganda, and take an example of the tour operators, if a tour operator brings a tourist in the country, and they are taking them to the Kabaka's Palace, and after the palace to Kasubi, and then to Maxon Falls. It is not only the tour operator that is benefiting out of this. The hotel where they'll sleep, the food that they eat is harvested from some gardens in our village in Butambala, and everyone in that chain somehow benefits from the business. So we call upon Ugandans to understand that the only business that we can do and make money freely and then remain with our business is tourism. We need to support, we need to create good publicity about the country. We need to make sure that we entice, we attract people to come and visit Uganda. And as a result, each visitor that comes to Uganda, not only the government benefits, or the Uganda Heritage and Tourism Board, or those doing tourism business that benefit, but all of us in the country that are doing business that is attached to that tourist will be making money out of it. And as a result, a lot of people shall benefit. I call upon people to come and visit Buganda, to come and see the Kasubi tombs, the Kabaka's Palace, the Kabaka's Lake. The Kabaka's Lake is the biggest hand-dug lake in the world, the biggest hand-dug lake in the world. So they should come and experience all these amazing heritage experiences that we have. And thank you so much for hosting us.
Yes, it was nice having you, Mr. Subuga. You've truly taken us around Buganda without us even moving. But thank you so much. It was nice having you on set. And we are still on Good Morning Uganda. We are proudly sponsored by the Uganda Tourism Board. And coming in will be Julie Nantaba with the business segment. Stick around.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the Rider Selection Campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends to form a team of 4, and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety, and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll-free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
My friend Baka was found to be positive for Mpox at his old age. He needs our prayers. By the way, Timo, did you know that Mpox-related deaths occur among people with underlying conditions like HIV/AIDS, diabetes, malnutrition, and other old age-related illnesses?
Of late, I've not been following Mpox issues. I thought it wasn't that serious. So, are you saying that as long as one has any underlying condition and feels unwell, just run to the hospital?
Yes, you do not have to wait. If you have any of the signs and symptoms like a body rash, a fever, headache, and body weakness, visit your nearest health facility immediately. We do not have to take any chances, my brother.
We need to immediately inform our peers in the club to be careful.
You see, with Mpox, the magic is in getting treatment early. Those who have suffered severe disease, they wasted a lot of time either treating themselves or ignoring the disease.
Save your life. Seek treatment early. Only from professional health workers whenever you feel unwell. For more information about Mpox, call the Ministry of Health toll-free line on 0800 1066 or send a free SMS to YouReport on 8500. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health Uganda
With support from UNICEF, WHO,
and its partners.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
A very good morning to you. Time for GMU Business today. My name is Julie Nantaba Mosisi, and we are looking at WIT, that is Women in Tech. The Innovation Village and Standard Chartered Bank have unveiled 10 dynamic women-led tech enterprises, which will participate in the inaugural cohort of the Women in Tech program. The program is a flagship initiative under Standard Chartered's Global Future Makers strategy aimed at tackling inequality and advancing economic inclusion for women through technology and innovation. The Women in Tech program reflects a broader commitment by Standard Chartered and its partners to address gender disparities in business, leadership, and innovation. Top performing businesses will each receive catalytic grants from a pool of $50,000, providing essential early stage capital to unlock new growth opportunities and scale impact. The program goes beyond immediate training or funding to building a strong interconnected ecosystem where women can thrive, innovate and lead as well at the same time. First launched in April 2025, the Women in Tech program is part of Standard Chartered's Global Future Makers initiative, that is WIT, Women in Program, which addresses systematic challenges such as limited access to finance, mentorship, technical support, and markets that disproportionately affect female entrepreneurs as well as particularly underserved communities. Now, staying with matters banking, Equity Bank Group has flagged off 128 successful candidates to the international universities for further studies. These candidates are from 4 East African countries and have gone through Equity's leadership and mentorship program. Equity Bank Leadership Program intends to incentivize young professionals to innovative and life-changing career development. At least 128 candidates have been awarded the opportunity of studying abroad in internationally recognized universities in the 2024-25 cohort of Equity Bank Leadership Program. These have been carefully selected and incubated through established mentorship programs with the niche of exposing them to the demands of global employment ecosystem. Beneficiaries are set to attain education in universities like Harvard, New York University, Abu Dhabi campus, among others. Parents and guardians are optimistic of the opportunities as will transform lives of different communities. In Uganda, 4 candidates secured the opportunity and will be joining fellows who got the same opportunity in prior cohorts. These formed platforms of association and networking in those countries of study. Now, money changers at the Chanika border linking Uganda to Rwanda's Burera district say the Ugandan shilling stability over the past 2 years has slowed business. Ntejeye William, a money exchanger for 15 years, says conflicts in the DRC have weakened the shilling against the Rwandan franc, which with the current rate at 1 shilling to 0.41 francs, reducing cross-border trade. A money exchanger at the Chanika border point for the last 15 years, Ntejeye William says Uganda sells less in Rwanda, while Rwandans buy fewer Ugandan goods due to high prices, urging government intervention. Ntejeye attributes this to the Ugandan shilling stability over the past 2 years. Bazamanya Charles says the stronger shilling has made Uganda's goods inexpensive, discouraging Rwandan traders. He called for reduced taxes to boost trade. Border operators crossing into Rwanda decried high entry taxes and asked Uganda to engage Rwanda on easing restrictions. Chanika Town Council Mayor Erasmus Sanyu said business has dropped as trade is now mostly with Rwanda, worsened by lack of infrastructure to other semi-borders. He noted the town council lacks a physical plan, stalling development, and urged government action at that. Well, that's it for GMU Business, but before we end it completely, let's have a look at what we have with the Forex rates as of 13th August 2025, and by day opening, dollar was buying at 3,553.77 and selling at 3,563.77. By midday, the dollar had dropped to 3,551.95 and selling at 3,561.95. It closed in at 3,551.09, a drop there, and selling at 3,561.09. The British pound was buying at 4,797.87 and selling at 4,811.38. The euro was buying at 4,149.09 and selling at 4,160.77, and the Kenyan shilling was buying at 27.48 and selling at 27.56. The Tanzanian shilling dropped a bit from the previous rating. It's now at 1.40 and selling at 1.41. The South African rand buying at 202.17 and selling at 202.74. And that is Good Morning Uganda Business today. Up next is the agenda, and we are talking about promoting safety at the places of work. That is with the National Organization of Trade Unions General Secretary Moses Mauku. 0709602592 is the WhatsApp number that you should save and be a part of the conversation. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
He expected me to die like within the first 2 years.
Out of the blue, the child will get pains, especially in the wrists. And this happens commonly when children are starting to walk.
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000, or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the Rider Selection Campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends friends to form a team of 4 and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
Taxation is a bit complicated, and the only way to demystify it and make it as easy to understand and to comply with is through engagement. Is there a limit to the number of cars a returning citizen is bringing into Uganda? Who has paid the excise duty on this water is not the supermarket which has sold you this bottle at 1,000. It's not the business. It is the man who is going to drink this water. We strongly believe that it will only be through such constructive engagement that we'll be able to broaden our tax base and build our country together.
Buza Kamiso now. Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887 and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
My friend Baka was found to be positive for Mpox at his old age. He needs our prayers. By the way, Timo, did you know that Mpox-related deaths occur among people with underlying conditions like HIV/AIDS, diabetes, malnutrition, and other old age-related illnesses?
Of late, I've not been following Mpox issues. I thought it wasn't that serious. So, are you saying that as long as one has any underlying condition and feels unwell, just run to the hospital?
Yes! You do not have to wait. If you have any of the signs and symptoms like a body rash, a fever, headache, and body weakness, visit your nearest health facility immediately. We do not have to take any chances, my brother.
We need to immediately inform our peers in the club to be careful.
You see, with Mpox, the magic is in getting treatment early. Those who have suffered severe disease, they wasted a lot of time either treating themselves or ignoring the disease.
Save your life. Seek treatment early. Only from professional health workers whenever you feel unwell. For more information about Mpox, call the Ministry of Health toll-free line on 0800 1066 or send a free SMS to your report on 8500. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health Uganda with support from UNICEF, WHO, and its partners.
This August, East Africa becomes the center of African football. CHAN 2024 is here, and it's bigger than ever. 3 proud nations, Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda, united by football, passion, and power. From the first whistle to the final roar, 35 thrilling matches, live, only on UBC TV and radio stations. Wherever you are in Uganda, from the city to the village, UBC brings CHAN 2024 to your screen and your radio. August 2nd to August 30th, it's football like never before. One tournament, one region, one heartbeat. CHAN 2024, live on UBC. Feel the game, live the glory.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archive stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth.
Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda. Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Thank you so much for being with us on UBC TV. Welcome to Good Morning Uganda Agenda. I'm Robert Chirabo Nyonyitono this lovely Thursday morning, where we are going to be discussing something very, very important. Why am I saying it's very important? Because most of us every morning wake up to go and work. You wake up, you drive, you board a taxi, you get a border, and your sole purpose is going to work. Now, we want to look at promoting safe workspaces this morning, because while you're going to work, you can either make money, lose a life, or land yourself in anything. Anything can happen. How do we ensure many of our sisters, many of our wives, many of our mothers, many of our aunties wake up to go to work only to be forced into sexual affairs or acts that they do not want, but they have nothing to do because they want that job? Many of our sons, many of our husbands, many of our fathers, many of our uncles wake up to go to work only to be tormented by someone because they expect them to say something and do something. Many are working in dangerous mechanical conditions or dangerous environments per se. They're in industries, their skins have changed, they inherit chemicals and all that. And much as they get a paycheck at the end of the month, the cost of what they have lost cannot even be rated to what they are earning. Now, join me welcome Moses Mauku, who is the General Secretary Uganda Hotels, Foods, Tourism, Supermarkets and Allied Workers, but he is also the Treasurer General of the National Organization of Trade Unions. Moses, you're most welcome.
Thank you so much, and good morning, Brother Chiravo. I also take occasion to salute all Ugandans, and especially the viewers and the workers that toil to make a living or to earn a living and also grow and develop Uganda as an economy.
Moses, first let's begin by understanding, when you talk about Uganda Hotels, Foods, Tourism, Supermarket and Allied Workers, there you are a General Secretary.
Yes,
now,
please.
there is also the National Organization of Trade Unions, and I think, of course, the UHFTS belongs there. So let's look at what is NOTU, what is their responsibility and mandate, where they are. You're a big person as well.
Well, NOTU and its affiliates. NOTU is an umbrella organization, a workers' organization that coordinates the affairs, the functions of the national unions as an umbrella organization. But a workers' organization generally is that organization which is voluntary in nature, representative in nature, independent, which is formed, managed and financed by workers themselves for the purposes of advancing, advocating, promoting, protecting and defending the workers' social and economic interests through what we call collective bargaining. And that is done through the legal frameworks, either nationally or internationally. So the workers' organizations are organized according to trades or sectors, and that is why we are referred to as trade unions, because different trades organize different workers. Just that is what is defined as actually the different names of the different unions that we have in Uganda. The teachers have their own unions in their own sector. We have the national teachers for government teachers, then the private teachers, but even in the government setting, there have been subdivisions.
The
science teachers, arts teachers, liberal teachers, non-teaching staff, the various. So we as workers are organized on the lines of trade, and we function and according to the Labor Unions Act, and our operations are guided by that law, but we also exist as a result of the provisions of the National Constitution, especially Article 29 and 40, that provide for the existence of trade unions in Uganda. And it also emanates from the international labor standards that provide for freedom of association and the freedom to collective bargaining as one of the core conventions by the International Labour Organization.
Okay. Now that was said, and now I think our viewer really fits into the discussion very properly, knowing what the National Organization of Trade Unions does, not to. Now, we are looking at promoting, that is, safety at workplaces. Moses, first and foremost, in this country, and say to a number of countries, we have high levels of unemployment. Do you think really safety of workers' rights, holds water, holds meaning, where people are ready to take on anything as long as it can give them something?
Safety of workers is a very critical aspect, and it should be taken seriously by any employer, any government, and any employee. It is a multifaceted approach that is required to approach issues of safety at work, because everybody who works must first have life. Safety of one's life is the most important aspect in employment, because if you are sick, you won't work. If you are dead, you won't work. So it is important to control and promote issues of health and safety at the workplace. Probably if I can offer or explain what health refers to. Health in the employment or workplace is defined as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, but not merely absence of disease or infirmity. For one to be healthy, you must be completely physically, mentally, and also social well-being. And the other is that occupational safety and health deals with aspects of health and safety in the workplace, and has a strong focus on primarily prevention of hazards. Because what affects one's health or life are the hazards that we meet or we interact with in the work environment. But it's also important for us to understand that occupational safety is a multiplicity of fields in the healthcare, which is mainly concerned with enabling an individual to undertake his or her occupation in a manner or way that causes least harm to his health or his body or her body. So under the circumstances, I also want to explain that when we are working, even here where we are, there are hazards that we interface with. And those hazards are presented or categorized in 6 different forms.
Okay.
The categories of hazards that we meet in the work environment. Some of them are physical hazards, where you can have things to do with automobiles, things that, objects or things that can cause harm or accident to a worker. You have automobiles, that is vehicles, motorcycles, bicycles, and all the likes. You have things like fire. You have flora and fauna for those people who work in the national parks. You have machines. You have noise, vibration, light, electricity, and many things that are physical, that you interface with in the work environment. But we also have chemical hazards that also affect or can cause injury or can affect your health or even life. And among the chemical hazards, you have liquids, gases, dust, fumes, and all vapors. There are very many liquids, even water kills. Even when you drop into a swimming pool and you don't know how to swim, you will die. But while working, you may not think that is a big hazard. But people die in swimming pools or even in lakes and water bodies. But we also have the third one, which is ergonomics. Ergonomics in the workplace. This refers to poor designs in the working environment. It can be poor design of the equipment that you use as a tool to work. It can also be workplace design by posture. It can also be manual handling and repetitive movements. If you are a typist, I remember when I was young, I had an aunt who was a secretary, but her fingers were bent because she was all the time on that typewriter. You remember the typewriters of the old ages, leave alone the computers we have today. Some people, because of the repetitive nature of their work, you end up having your fingers or parts of your body get assimilated too much into what you do, and you become almost lame. So those are some of the things that arise out of ergonomics. And then we have radiation. Does your work environment subject you to excess heat, ultraviolet rays, like people who are working in X-ray rooms? And you know those X-rays are very dangerous. Even when they are treating or subjecting somebody to an X-ray, they will chase everybody, then they put a piece of wood. But there is somebody who is administering that X-ray, and they are subjecting themselves to the X-rays all the time for even 20, 30 years. So if it can affect you in 5 minutes, how about the person who is doing it for years? So those are things that are related to radiation. And we also have psychological hazards. Those are some of the things that you are trying to hint, the examples you are trying to hint about. Drug abuse, sexual harassment, gender-based violence. All these things are psychological. You have, like in the hospitality industry, there are customers that are very aggressive. So employees suffer customer aggression. She sees a customer coming and that man is going to shout at me. So all these things are categorized under psychological, but lastly we also have biological hazards. Viruses, actually, COVID-19 was a biological hazard at the workplace because it is a virus. We have very many examples of biological hazards that include infections that are caused either by bacteria, viruses, and allergies, and mention them. So all these things affect a human being, even in the work environment. And it is important for the tripartite partners, government, employers, and the workers' organization, to focus on issues on how to control occupational safety and health issues.
Now, having taken us through the various forms, the physical, the biological, the chemical, psychological. Now, let's look at, you talked about the tripartite approach to this. First, the employees themselves, in terms of awareness, to demand for this to be in place. How aware are Ugandans in the working arena of this as a right that they should be having, or something that they know they should be protected at? I visit a number of flower farms. And when I look at the people there, you know, when you're moving in flowers, there's even that chemical scent you feel.
Yep.
At a certain season, before they're ready for the market, and they have that lovely scent. Now, you feel you want to mask even yourself, but someone tells you, fetwabimanyira.
That is the saying.
You know, when you look at people working in some factories, you want to you tell them, but for us, even when you are just riding, we have helmets. You know, look at these building sites. Move around Kampala. Men are supposed to have that, it's not a helmet,
Protective gear, yeah.
Protective gear in case someone falls off. They're supposed to have these clippers, you know. So someone just tells you, for us we are experienced. Now, awareness, because you can only demand for what you know. What has been your assessment levels?
Well, generally, one of the biggest problems we have in this country is ignorance, or less or inadequate awareness of the existing legal framework. Uganda, as a country or government, they always undertake their function in this aspect of occupational safety and health. We have 2 acts of parliament, and that are also derived from the provisions or the articles of the national constitution on occupational safety and health. We have the two acts of parliament. One is the preventive law. That is the Occupational Safety and Health Act, Cap 231. It is a preventive law on occupational safety and health. But we also have Workers' Compensation Act, Cap 233. That is a remedial law. Occupational Safety and Health Act is a law that provides for how to prevent and control occupational hazards, occupational accidents, occupational diseases. But in cases where the control has failed, then the remedial law applies, compensation. So very many workers don't have access to these pieces of law. They don't know even the basics. They cannot even define what an industrial accident is. They cannot define an industrial disease. And under the circumstances, when they meet these accidents or contract industrial diseases, they don't actually understand what to do. Even in many companies, the managers don't seem to comprehend these laws. They don't even have them, the human resource officers. They don't have these laws. And they are administering of employees who are susceptible to or prone to accidents. And that is where we have a very big challenge. But in these laws, there are provisions for responsibilities of all the tripartite partners. Government has its own function and role in as far as a worker's life is concerned at workplace. Employers have their own roles, the workers' organizations have a role, and the workers themselves have their role. The government, for example, is supposed to put in place the relevant legal framework to protect employees against hazards, and in cases of accidents, there is a law that we have to follow. And those laws are clear. Government is supposed to administer and implement these laws. They do. They have a minister responsible for labor. The laws prescribe the forms that you are supposed to fill in case you get an accident. The laws define what an industrial accident is, and many things. So when it comes to issues of employers, the employers must provide an enabling environment, an environment, a workplace environment that subjects employees to the limit, to the most less, the less opportunities for this employee to get into an accident. They have to design their buildings in such a manner that makes it easier for people to avoid accidents. They must do things like, for example, if you are building a flat beyond 2 floors, it is advisable that you must have a lift so that you can help people not to carry loads on the stairs for longer. So there are many things that employers are supposed to do but basically is they are supposed to take care of their plant first of all, the factory, the workplace itself. It must be designed in such a manner that it will try to avoid or limit the number of accidents that could be caused arising from the design of the plant. And they are also supposed, all the stakeholders are supposed to inform, train workers on occupational safety and health issues. Likewise for the workers' organization, same things, though they differ in one way or the other. We have to offer leadership, we have to offer representation, we have to offer training to the workers in cases of accidents. What do they do? So every organization, every party in the organization has an obligation, but it also has to go to people who supply, because we looked at the different types of or categories of hazards.
Hazards, yes.
Some of the hazards are introduced to the workplaces by suppliers. If you supply chemicals that are either not properly labeled, there are chemicals that are used in swimming pools, that chlorine that they use in a swimming pool. If you shake it then open, it bursts like into a fire flame. So there must be proper labels on the supplies that you provide to the company. So even the supplier has a responsibility. If you supply chemicals that are expired, they are going to cause injury and or disease to the people applying these chemicals. So there are a number of things that we need to focus on when dealing with people's lives. It's not prudent, it's not logical for anybody to claim that because there is unemployment in Uganda, so people shouldn't bother about occupational safety and health. We have another topic which speaks about the attributes of social, of good occupational safety and health in the workplace, how it impacts the business. If you are this business where workers are dying of accidents every time, at one point in time, you may look for workers and you can't find them.
Definitely.
Because people will fear. And if even the customers may fear taking or consuming your products. If every month they are hearing that sugar factory has lost an employee,
yes.
that a human being fell into the machine that produces sugar, do you think people will be happy to consume your product?
Definitely
so
not. You'll have to invest so much.
It is very prudent that you do the right thing.
Yes, yes.
To avoid accidents in your workplace.
Now, Moses, you've talked about the various areas where accidents can occur and why it is very important to prevent them. But now I want us to handle the most critical role here, most critical part that many workers there are undergoing. That is litigation and seeking justice. Today, when you go to, most of the hazards we've talked about here have occurred on very many workers in workplaces out there.
On a daily basis.
Daily basis. But one of the things that has happened is some have just lost their jobs like that. Others have tried. I remember some years back, we even saw someone who had to come and demonstrate in front of a gate of a certain industry where he lost, I think, was it an arm or something like that. When we talk about, not to be specific, the sugar factories, but not a particular sugar factory I want to mention. So these are things that happen on the daily. But why do we see that justice is very, very minimal? If you are to talk about damage at workplaces, people who have lost body parts at workplaces, if you are to talk about people who have contracted diseases, sound pollution alone, some people you're talking to them, at the end of the day, the working environment had an impact on them.
Definitely.
So why is it so hard to successfully prosecute the employers, to successfully find justice or compensation or things like that? You see, they will tell you this one was not a worker here. But when you ask the colleagues as a just doing an interview or a report, they tell you, no, I have worked here for 5 years, I found this person here. But they tell you no. Let him prove he's a worker here. The poor man has been getting salary, there is an account, there is evidence, but he doesn't have a letter, a contract. So how do we help? Because the people watching us, now we've informed them, they are waiting for how do they get justice, which is very hard or next to impossible.
One thing is that the level of implementation of the existing laws is quite wanting. And it begins from organizations or workplaces which do not recognize unions. For the organizations where unions operate, it is more easier for this person to get compensation in case she gets an injury or an accident. Because the union will help you follow up, and the union understands the procedures. But these ordinary workers working for an Indian who does not even know that this law exists, but he has formed or created his factory somewhere, when you get into an accident, it is very difficult that you'll get compensation. But some of them we advise, if you are not a union member, then go to the labor officer, the district labor officer, and report the accident. You know, it is very important that even in the law prescribes how to report an industrial accident. Sometimes many people lose compensation because they did not report their accidents in accordance with the requirements of the law. And it is because people do not have knowledge about these laws. For our members, I have written a book summarizing the two laws, the preventive and the remedial law, to guide workers on how they can access justice in cases of occupational safety and health issues. Basic information to train them, to teach them what they should know at the workplace, how they should treat them or behave in the workplace in a way to avoid industrial accidents. And in case industrial accidents do happen, you must know how to define an industrial accident. You must know how to define an industrial disease. You must also have to know what are the hazards that can cause harm to my life or to my health. So when you have this information, it becomes a little bit easier to avoid accidents, and also when it happens, because it is inevitable, then you must know the process of how to report an accident. When an accident occurs, you expect three things. One is death. Two is survival with severe injuries, or survival with minimal injuries. And all the three states leave you in a different kind of situation. If you have died, you can't report an accident. Those in the surrounding should report. And it is the obligation of the company and the workers' representatives to help you through that process. If you have sustained serious injuries, definitely you'll be rushed for medical care. So you cannot be the one to report. But the law requires that you should report under normal circumstances in 14 days after the occurrence of the accident. Under normal circumstances, they also require that there should be a police inspection of the accident. Because some accidents turn out to be diseases. So if you do not report, it becomes difficult for you or for the medical practitioner to justify that the disease you are suffering is the result of an accident. So there are so many things in the law, and all these things are written in the law. So I just want to implore people to access the laws and read and understand. Where they can't, then run to a union for assistance, run to the district labor officer for assistance in case you get an accident. However, the other thing is that workers who have some little information about accidents, they assume that every accident is compensatable.
Yes.
It is not the fact. No. Not every accident is compensatable.
Oh.
Yes. Because what is compensation?
Okay.
Compensation is paid to you to compensate the degree of incapacitation, the accident has caused your life.
Okay.
So if you get a scratch or a small cut on the hand and you bleed, it does not mean that you are going to be compensated. Because at the end of the treatment, even if they assist you, you will have lost 0.00001 of your capacity to offer labor or to work. So that is what people sometimes don't also understand. Every accident, somebody is expecting compensation.
Compensation, yes.
And compensation is also against your salary. One may get a small injury and he gets 20 million. For you, you die and you get 2 million. Yes. Compensation is done in accord, computed. Compensation is computed against the salary you earn. And for total incapacitation, you earn 60 salaries.
Okay, if you're not able to work again.
Yeah, you are totally incapacitated or die.
You earn 60 salaries.
60 salaries.
Gross? Oh.
No, basic.
Okay.
Because your gross might include things to do with overtime and allowances. No, they compensation. I mean, they compute compensation depending on your basic salary.
Okay.
So these are some of the things people need to understand.
Yes.
And the degree of incapacitation, if you lose a finger, the small one, the compensation is smaller than when you lose the second finger. The compensation, and those dynamics are there.
Maoko, help me. Let's agree on one thing. We shall have a day. I'll host you again.
Please.
And we discuss how compensation
is done.
Now, you mentioned something very critical. You said for those in unions, it is very easy.
Because we understand some of these
Because we understand. Those who are not. But there is something that triggered me. Is being in a union a right? Or does it have restrictions? Because many organizations, when you mention your union things, Moses, if it is my factory and you tell me the workers are going to get unionized, I will expel them, because people believe unions is almost another opposition in your company, at a workplace. Even when you look at the history of trade unions, you know, both in Uganda and even wherever unions began from, those guys in cotton who said enough is enough, then those that were killed, then that day was earmarked. So trade unions maybe takes a person who owns his own entity a lot of knowledge to allow the workers form a union. So if that is the quickest way to be helped, yet many bosses don't allow these things in their workplaces. So is it constitutional? Is it at the will that you have to convince your boss to form a union or belong to a union? Because many don't like unions, I'm sorry to say.
My brother Chiravo, you know, I've always talked about these issues. Workers' rights are human rights.
Yes.
And human rights are God-given. In the same way, most of the workers' rights are God-given. The right to freedom of association is enshrined in the international standards, the International Labour Organization Convention 87. The right to collective bargaining is also enshrined in ILO Convention, Convention 98. The right to safe working conditions is also enshrined in the same convention, Convention 155 of the International Labour Organization. And all the three are among the 9 core conventions that are a must in all member states of United Nations and ILO. There are 9 core conventions out of 190. The 9 are core. They must be observed by all states that are members to ILO. Uganda is one of them.
International Labour Organization.
Yes, Uganda is one of them. For a long time, under the circumstances, it is not by choice. Here we have the national constitution of the Republic of Uganda, 1995 as amended. Article 29 and 40 provide directly for the freedom and liberty for workers to join unions or form unions of their choice. Trade unions were formed in Uganda in 1937 for that purpose. And we also function by an act of parliament, the Labor Unions Act. Cap 2, they have just changed some of these things. You know, so what we are doing is a lawful exercise.
Okay.
It is a right enshrined in the national constitution and in the laws of Uganda. Those who are objecting to recognition of unions are only abrogating the laws of this land. It's not that they have a right to choose whether to agree to unions or not. They are only in total abrogation of the laws. And I want to implore people to just appreciate that the laws provide for freedom of association, including the freedom for workers to join or form unions. And they should allow them to exercise their rights. And in exercising their rights, they help the employer want to be compliant with the with the laws of Uganda. They help the union, the workers to bridge that gap between the employee and the bosses.
Okay.
We bring about collective bargaining as a process that brings together these people to agree on the terms and conditions under which they relate. All these are benefits that accrue to the employer, even more than the employee.
Yes.
It's out of ignorance that some people still think that working with trade unions is a bad thing. It is not. And organizations that are excelling here, they work with trade unions, and they even are more profitable than those that are not working with trade unions. Negotiating a salary or other terms of employment is just motivating these people to work even better. You get? Because they have a sense of belonging with this organization. They are expecting that our terms shall be formally negotiated. You get? Unlike where you come and you are earning one salary for 20 years. That is the salary you accepted. You cannot subject it to a negotiation. If they are to increase your salary, if you are a woman, then you must do certain things. Those ones that you talked about. If you go there and ask for salary every year, they will say this one is a wiseacre. Stop this person. A person to work more productively must be motivated by the organization. And yet, on the other side, the laws are saying these people have the right to negotiate their terms and conditions of employment through their unions that represent them. So where is the harm?
Definitely there would be no harm if you have collective bargaining and ensuring that we all have enough knowledge regarding trade unions so that the workers benefit, but also the employer benefits, because when the workers are motivated, when the workers
productivity is high,
are assured of safety, the productivity is definitely high. They have the zeal and they will work and deliver more effectively compared to when they have so much. They come there sick, they have come to work psychologically. We talked about the hazards, psychologically disturbed as well.
Definitely, yeah.
So it may be very hard for them to give you the best. But still looking at our topic of the day, that is promoting safety at workplaces. Now, we've talked about government, we've talked about the employers. But
yes, please.
Moses, given your experience in the labor arena for so long, do you think Ugandans mind about safety, their safety at work, or it's all about the job, getting a job, getting something to take home, and this has also impacted greatly on where we are today?
I want to believe that Ugandans mind about their safety. Because, yeah, it is true, because when these people, when any employee is sick, she will definitely inform the employer that I'm not able to work today because I'm sick. The only problem that arises is that when you are this person who is not a union member, the moment you inform your employer, today I can't be able to work, because I'm sick, you won't get paid for that day. But when we do collective bargaining, we make sure that it is incorporated, I mean, it is indicated in the agreement that when an employee is absent from duty for reasons of sickness, this person should not be denied pay. And we even have, even in the law, in the Employment Act, it provides that an employee can be sick for at least 60 days when that person is still on the payroll. It does not arise 2 months. It does not arise mostly in the places where there are no unions. When you are out of employment for even 1 day, you won't be paid. So that is why I continue encouraging workers to get to their senses. Look for the unions that operate within their trades and participate to make life better at workplace. You get? So people know, if you get injured, they will now begin looking for information.
Yes.
I have an injury, I'm expecting compensation. Some of them are not even treated. The law provides that when a worker is injured through an industry accident, that is also defined as any accident or injury that you meet 1 hour before you reach work, but en route work. That accident that you meet while in employment, and the accident you meet after signing off, but going back home, 60 minutes.
That is 1 hour from your workplace.
To workplace, during workplace, and 1 hour after workplace, en route home. Any accident that.
So if I'm coming to work
and a border knocks you, you have met an industry accident.
If I've left my workplace and I'm going back home
to Makindye,
yes,
and you meet an accident, that is an industrial accident, and the company is supposed to treat you until you heal or die. And the company is not the one which is going to pay, because you are in the first instance meant to be insured for life by the employer. So the company may give you money for treatment, but it will recover this money from the insurance. While you will also be compensated by the insurance. You get? So these are some of the things we people as working class need to understand.
Moses,
very many people get industry accidents, and they say that accident was not.
Yeah, he wasn't at work.
He was not at work, but you were from work going home, or you were coming from home to come and report.
Moses, we really have so much to let the public know, but I must let you go. So let me just have your parting shot, in the interest of time, please.
Well, my parting shot is I want to thank Ugandans for listening to us each time we are here. I also want to continuously encourage workers, wherever they are, to join and belong to trade unions of their choices within their categories, and also inform Ugandan workers that we are in the bid, or we are in the season of elections, and we are going to elect our leaders at different levels. Make the best choices.
I'm told
not only those people that have money, but make choices for people who are going to represent our interests, even when they do not have a lot of money.
I'm told that is an election where those workers' league, he who has money has the vote.
It is not workers' league. It is the national phenomenon today. It's elections in Uganda have become.
But you see there, you have
if you don't have money, don't even attempt.
You calculate who they are.
And I don't know where it is going to take us, because there are so many bad things happening. There is very low productivity. When you go to these public offices, ministers who are also campaigning, they are not doing anything for government. They are virtually doing their own personal things in the government ministries, and they're earning money, salaries, but they are not working. They are actually politicking in government offices. But I don't know whether government needs to do something about this whole thing. The elections are everywhere. Everybody is engaged in, it is either the person giving money or the other running around to receive that money. So it is posturing a very bad situation for us going forward. Money has become a very huge aspect in politics, and we're not choosing leaders we are choosing people who have money to
Well.
go and represent us. So I am a little bit unhappy about the whole thing, but I cannot make decisions.
Make money, then of course you sail through very quickly, because that's what most of our voters are now focusing on. Thank you so much, Moses. It was really so much of learning, and I believe every worker must interest themselves to learn and also be part of a union of their choice that matches what they are doing. Have the best of your day. Behind the headlines is next a recap of what transpired yesterday. God bless you. God bless Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Taxation is a bit complicated, and the only way to demystify it and make it as easy to understand and to comply with is through engagement. Is there a limit to the number of cars a returning citizen is bringing into Uganda? Who has paid the excise duty on this water is not the supermarket which has sold you this bottle at 1,000. It's not the business. It is the man who is going to drink this water. We strongly believe that it will only be through such constructive engagement that we'll be able to broaden our tax base and build our country together.
Buza Kamiso now. Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
My friend Bears, by the way, Timo, did you know that Mpox-related